Hey Simmers, so we're here today to do a CAS starter guide. So this is going to be great for starters and beginners. Just going to try to help you navigate around CAS a little bit better. So this is how the game starts you right here on this screen, once you hit new households. It's going to give you a pre-made sim, no name, random looks, or a randomizer, so you can just keep clicking that until you're happy. But today we are going to go through a detail edit mode and everything else and just customizing your sim. And hopefully it does help you guys a little bit. So let's get to it. So you're going to navigate to the top left. This is where you would set first and last name. You can change the H. There's pronouns. You could even set custom. The names also has a dice for the randomizer as well. I usually tend to utilize these, even if it does just inspire what I come up with anyways. The Aria is cute. I'm liking Nova. Okay, perfect. Now we have Aria Nova. Sometimes I either like to create my sim first, then go back and choose the name that fits them, or choose the name first and then create the sim. So in this case, we made the name first, and we're going to give her she, her pronouns. So there are 7 stages of life. Well, there's actually 8, but it doesn't let you choose to be a newborn. Toddler, child, teen. I do feel like there should be a preteen in between child and teen. And you have young adult, adult, and elder. The gameplay for infant is extremely minimal. All you can do is really just try to go to sleep or cry. Or I think you could use your diaper too. Toddler is, you have a few more interactions because you're learning how to walk and use the toilet on your own. You can even request bath time or story time. So there's a little bit more gameplay for toddler. The child definitely has plenty more of interactions. You have a phone that works and you can do things, you can play games, you do your homework, you go to school, you make friends. They could even join clubs at school. But yeah, the jump from teen to young adult is just crazy. 6 to 9 or 6 to 10. But 13 and 19 are very different ages, so there definitely should be something for I guess 10 to 13, that would be preteen. And teen traits are based on life decisions, so you'll get pop-ups with choices, and depending on what you choose will affect your teen's traits. They also can develop crushes. They are automatically enrolled in high school but can be expelled or drop out. And they cannot live on their own or independently care for a sim younger than them. So now let's jump into the infant phase. This is the infant. Look how cute. They're always propped up on this little pillow in cast mode. There's only one option to change their voice. That's the little candy logo. That is for the sweet voice. They're able to have one trait. So depending on how you want your parenting style to go and the type of gameplay, calm is obviously easier. Intense, and they're very clangy. Make sure to scroll through all the options and read them to see the pros and cons. Also, how you interact with them and how frequently you interact with them affects development and certain milestones. Okay, now jumping into toddler. Now, they also get one trait, but these traits are a little different. This also makes a huge deal and affects your gameplay and how you want your parenting style to go. Once again, you can just scroll through them, can also randomize. But yeah, scroll through them and read each pros and cons. Now, this option is available at all stages of life, the occult option. I do have some expansion packs, so I do think that's why I have all these options. And I'm not going to get too much into detail in it right now, but I'd be more than happy to make a whole separate episode on creating an occult sim. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Also, the question mark that says pick clause of death, I think I only have that because I have the life and death expansion. But do not select that because it turns your sim to a ghost. So unless you want to play as a ghost, do not select that. I'm also not going to get too much into it here, but I'd be more than happy to go into it in a separate video. And here we have the child. You see that another voice style opened up, which is warm. So we have warm and sweet available. They can be encouraged or disciplined for recent behavior. They can also be encouraged to do chores or do homework. This is the age that they're able to move more independently on their own. This phase of life is also very crucial for development and relationship building. As you can see, the aspirations unlocked, and these are the child aspiration traits. They do differ from the adult traits and baby traits. They have all different ones focused around play, adventure, creativity, smarts, social. So same idea, you can go through and it gives you a little description of each. And now the traits have also become available as well. These are not all the traits available to, say, a teen or an adult, but there's some there. These can be tedious. I usually tend to only do likes and dislikes if I'm making a real particular sim, because the thing with likes and dislikes is, you see how she just reacted? Yeah. If you hit dislike, that's how they're going to react around anything that's yellow, for example, and it just gets really draining, because when you're in build mode or CAS mode, and you're picking certain outfits or certain designs or pieces of furniture for your house, you're not thinking about certain things, unless obviously that's the storyline and gameplay you're going for. Me personally, I do like to keep a mix and not be confined or make my sim depressed, because I like the yellow picture that matched the bathroom. The likes and dislikes also opened up with all these hobbies and skills, so it's the same idea. If you dislike something, the sim is going to strongly dislike it. So if you put that you dislike fishing and then you try to make the sim fish, it is going to be, we're going to keep stopping, consistently keep getting angry. So when you do likes, so only use dislikes when absolutely necessary, or if it's a certain kind of picture you're painting. Okay, jumping right into teen. Sweet old teen years. This is definitely the phase that most gameplay opens up so far that we've done. Teens can date other teens. Relationships with adults are not allowed. School performance is extremely crucial for your career. This will allow you to get scholarships. This also helps them develop more hobbies and meet new people and make new friends. And they can even help contribute to the household by having a part-time job. This also helps teach responsibility, discipline, and helps prep them for their adult years. This button allows you to choose a walk style. There's a few different kinds. I usually go with the same one, which is this one. But I'm just going to go through all of them real quickly. This doesn't affect any sort of gameplay, but it does just add to personality type for sure. And the button under it is to edit relationships with other people in the household, but we are the only one in the household right now. As you can see, a bunch of other voices opened up. We have melodic, lilted, brash, few different ones, and there's a slider to make it deeper or higher pitched. Teens also have different aspirations and an option to pick 2 traits. So these are all the aspirations. I do believe once again, depending on the aspiration you pick, is going to affect your gameplay greatly, because these are the goals you're going to set for your sim. Also, as you are playing out the aspirations, you will develop certain traits that go along with these goals. So just be clear and mindful of what you want to select. And if you're ever confused or hesitant on what to choose, just click through all the options and it does give you a little description of everything. You can even Google like the different goals. Or if you don't like it, you can always change it. You're not locked into your aspiration at all. And you don't even have to go into CAS mode to change it. You could change it directly from the gameplay screen. Now let's get into the physical customization part. If you click on her hide, you'll see a bunch of options come up. And as you move your cursor, you'll see a bunch of crosshairs and turned arrows. We're going to get into all of that right now. There's two ways to edit your Sims features. Right now I'm going to run through the first one, which is a little bit more simple. You can always use this as a foundation and then go back and be more detailed. I just clicked on her head and it opened up all these preset head shapes. Just going to click through. You can visibly see the difference between them all. Remember, you can find one that you semi-like or kind of like, and we can go back and tweak it in the end to make it perfect. When selecting features, you want to make sure to turn your sim all around 360 angle to make sure to see if you like it from the side as well as the front. Features tend to look very different from the side versus the front, so I've noticed. Now let's get into the eyes. I do think the eyes has the most presets available in comparison to the other features. At the top is where you can also select a color. I think I'm going to give her green, like super green. Now I'm on PlayStation, so I'm going to hit circle to go back to select the other option bubbles. But on PC, yeah, you would just hit the back button. Also on PlayStation, the remove button is triangle. So you can just go over to any of these categories, hit triangle, and it will remove everything from that category. You could even do it in the smaller subcategories once you click on these. On PC, I do think you have just like an axe right there, which makes it super simple for you as well. Let's go on and do it with her hair. Let's give it a try, just so you could see. Sometimes this can be so much more simple, just hopping from category to category and hitting triangle or X versus going into each individual one and removing everything individually. Saves a lot of time and energy. Okay, now let's get her a new nose. When you click on the nose, you want to make sure you have that crosshair. The tilted arrow does something a little different, and we'll get into that after. And remember, as you're looking, to keep turning your sim to see how it looks from all angles. Let's get into the lips. The detail edit mode we're going to go in after, which you could see the button over to the left, a little magnifying glass, is going to be able to help us bring everything to exactly how we want it. It actually took me pretty long to find out that they have preset jaw shapes, so you're going to move over to the jaw and make sure you get the crosshair. The jaws really affect how the neck looks, and once again, you want to see how it looks from the side because it affects under the chin as well. Speaking of chin, let's get into that one. Also remember, all these features and physical characteristics being edited in CAS is not permanent either. This can be changed at any time. Of course, there's also a way to edit the eyebrows. You want that crosshair. There's actually a really good selection of eyebrows on here. A lot of them are really nice. And I actually like the one she already has, so I'm not going to change them. You can always flip through. At the top, there is a little checkbox to match with the hair on your head. So, you can uncheck that if you want pink hair and black eyebrows or something like that. There's even an option for preset cheeks. A lot of this I learned after years of playing the game and just like messing around. Cheek was another one that I learned a little too late into playing the game, but better late than never. It's also filled with tons of options that affect the cheekbone structure and the under the eye fullness. There's even an option for ears, but I don't really mess around with that. When you get the crosshair over the head, instead of pressing down to bring up the presets, press down and drag down, and you'll see that it makes the face longer. If you bring it back up, it makes it shorter. You can bring it out to the sides and it'll make it wider. You can bring it back in and it'll be more narrow. Gonna just try to make it look normal again, and that's better. So now I know you've been wondering about this tilted arrow. I'm gonna show you exactly what it does now for the eyebrows. It tilts it. So you can bring them more upwards, downwards. You can even bring it outwards or inwards. This also works for the nose and the nostrils as well, and the eyes. So now to show you the difference between the tilted arrow and the crosshair, when you use the crosshair, this is shifting them, their placement on the forehead. How high above they are above the eyes. The crosshair is shifting the placement, whereas the tilted arrow is tilting the placement. So they're both being used for movement, just different forms of movement. Big shout outs to using both of these in combination because it really helps with the arch. So now I'm going to show you how the crosshair works for the eyes. This can either make them more spaced apart or more closer together. I seriously feel like this feature is severely underused. Now, I'm going to show you how to make the eyes bigger and smaller. You're going to bring the crosshair back over the eyes. And then you see when you get the 3 squares, you're going to go in and out. That's what makes it bigger. And then if you want to use the tilted arrow for the eyes, it can either make them upturned or downturned. Same thing, just hover over the eyes or in the inner corner until you get the tilted arrow, and then you can either go up or down. You can even do it on the outer corners as well. When you do it to the nose, it also makes the nose upturned or downturned. It is crucial to have your sim facing forward when doing this, because when you do it from the side, it does other things. I'm going to show you that after, but when you do things from different angles, it affects it differently. When you use the crosshair on the nose, once again, it moves the placement. So, like I said before, the tilted arrow tilts placement. The crosshair is always going to move placement. So that will move it up and down. The 3 squares on the cheek will do the same thing it was doing for the eyes. It will make it bigger or smaller. The 3 squares signifies enlarging or shrinking. For the lips, it will change the width and the placement. So you can move it up or down. You can bring it in or out. Same thing like it does for the head. You can make it wider, narrow, taller, or shorter. It does the same thing for the lips as well. I'm going to get into the side profile editing in a little bit, but right now we are going to jump into detail mode. I know the whole thing can be seriously overwhelming, but I know this is probably the most overwhelming part. It was for me. As you can see, it's all the same symbols, mostly the crosshair, so there's no need to be overwhelmed, friend. We will get through this. Okay, let's see what it does to the eyes. Okay, so this is more angling it. So when you're taking the crosshair out of detail edit mode, you're more so making it upturned or downturned with the corners. In detail edit mode, you're more so just giving it a different type of angle. You can even bring in or out the head and make the eyes sunken in, or bring them outwards and make them lay flat. We can even do it with the bridge and arch of the nose as well. With the nose, you want to make sure you're at the top and then move back down a little bit to get the middle. And then if you go to the third section of the nose, it's the tip. The chin can also be adjusted to come outwards more or inward. The lips can be brought backwards by using the line on the side or changing how deep lips go. Or it can be frontwards to where they're sitting flat on your face with not much depth. The lip can also be brought up and out, and same with the bottom lip. It can be brought down and out as well. You can even give yourself an underbite or an overbite by selecting the jaw and moving inwards or outwards. You can make your irises bigger or smaller. Hover over your iris with the crosshair and pull inwards or outwards. Now facing from the front, we can change the shape of your top lip. We can bring the cupid's bow more outwards or inwards. We can also bring the height more down or up. Okay, I think she looks pretty good. And you could also edit the thickness of your neck. So you hover over it, you get this arrow, you bring it to the left or the right, it makes it wider and more narrow. Okay, so believe it or not, we covered every single thing in detail edit mode. Now let's adjust her body. You can make the shoulders more narrow. With that double-sided arrow, you bring it to the left or right. The chest, you get the 3 squares again to enlarge or shrink. And then you can also bring it up or down to give it a more perky or drooping appearance. The stomach, you can also widen it or bring it in. This is about as in as it goes. We're gonna, normalize it. The hips also, in or out. The thighs. You can also do the calves. You can even change the size of the feet. But for some reason, we still do not have height sliders. I don't know why. The bottom can also be adjusted as well from the side. If you ask me, I wish it could be adjusted more, but they gave us limits. There is a little tiny trick that allows you to kind of make it bigger or give it a bigger appearance. That is using the sliders on the side. We're going to get into that in a second. When turned to the side, the stomach can also be adjusted and brought more inwards or outwards to have a more rounded appearance. The thickness of the arms can also be adjusted. And lastly, this is also something I found out a little late into the game. When you have them turned to the side and you see the arrow is the double-sided arrow, but it's up and down instead of side to side, this changes the posture. Yes, you can change your Sim's posture. I was mind blown when I found this out. So now these were the sliders I was mentioning before. The one on the left is the athletic one, and the one on the right is just body mass weight. So the little trick I was saying is pretty much to bring the one on the right all the way up, but then go and manually adjust all the body features to be smaller. So it will give the butt a more defined appearance. I'm actually going to mess with it right now and show you. I do this one, I want my Sims to have a real particular body shape. So as you can see, we brought the slider all the way up and adjusted it to where she just has a thick appearance. So, it's eating, living, breathing, giving. She's not leaving no crumbs. Time to style, finally. So over here under body, the first one is skin tones. They have, a nice selection, but of course we could always use more. I like her skin tone, so I'm not going to be changing it. The next section is bodies. This is going to be the preset body types. I wonder if we can do what I was just doing with that preset. This just brings up both sides of everything, okay? Let me just fix that up real quick. Hold on. While I'm doing this, a quick little tip: when you're picking outfits and accessories and shoes for each category and each outfit and each time, clear the filters so all the items are available and visible to you. I have to be honest, I've never used these styled looks, except the other day I stumbled across it by accident and I was like, wait, these are actually pretty cute. Like, that is adorable. And all the color swatches, I really do think, they did their big one with these. I personally just like to use my creativity and create my own outfits, but they definitely are inspiring. And you know what? We're keeping this one, yes. Look, she's feeling it. I'm feeling it. This is it, baby. Also, just so you know, that was the button under body. Styled looks. That's that second button right there. I do have tattoos available because I have the business and hobbies expansion. So, they're cute. They come with some presets too. You can also do custom tats, which is some of my favorites. I like to do the face contour ones. I can also do a separate video on that. There is options for arm hair, chest hair, back hair, leg hair. Really even go into these. I just jump right over them and hit the triangle or the X, to remove it. And there's even a little checkbox that you can uncheck to disable hair growth or enable it. You can even change the color of your body hair. This section right here is body scars. A lot of these are from the Werewolves pack. I don't really ever see me using these, but I guess, it's a nice feature to have. Then we have skin details. In here, you'll find a lot of things that can help your skin look a little bit more aged or older. You'll find a lot of hyperpigmentation and really just some wrinkles and some beauty marks and moles. There's a few things that kind of look like skin overlays that I like to use. I'm going to point them out when we come across them. That's kind of one of them, but this is like more of an elderly look. But there's some for the lower legs that, even though they're a little wrinkly around the ankles and knees, I do like to use them for a realistic feel. Like, even this one isn't bad. Like, this one's not bad either. And I just recently kind of discovered these too and realized like I could use these as skin overlays despite me playing on console and not having access to mods and CC. They even have stretch marks, like they have ones on the lower back, on the thighs. I don't know, I guess that's supposed to be stretch marks. Yeah, these are the thigh ones I was talking about. I think it's cool. It gives it a shadow. It just makes it look more realistic. This overlay actually isn't bad, trying to, she has a big behind and she could have lost a lot of weight or she could have even gotten a BB out. And yeah, I think it's cool. Despite the knees and ankles looking a little old and wrinkly, I don't care. I love it down. As a console user, this is my version of CC and skin overlays. Don't hate and just let me live. In the last category is medical wearables, which just has some patches in it. So you have a few different outfit categories. You have about 7. You have the everyday, which is, gonna be the outfit you're in every day when you're watching movies, when you're cooking, just doing the basic activities, going to school. Right now, this is the formal category. I used to think it was work because it has a tie, but the tie I think is really just really formal black tie event. And also, if your sim gets married or gets invited to a wedding, this is the outfit that they will be wearing. So we're just gonna speed this up and put this look together. And this is definitely the winner. Time to accessorize. First, let's head over to the bracelets. As you can see, the filters are selected for formal. In order to see all items available to be worn, just clear those filters, and then that'll be every single object available in CAS. You see they have plenty of filter options. You can filter by style, material, color. The category is always automatic, so just make sure to clear it every single time. Let me just find another one real quick. In this category, you're allowed to choose up to about like 8 or 9 items because you're allowed to have a ring on each finger. Personally, those are my favorite because it covers every finger all at once. It's quick, simple, and looks good. Also, this button in the corner that looks like a copy button or a save button, this is a very cool button. Whatever you are selected on now, for example, it's the rings. When you hit this button, it applies to all the other outfits, as you can see. If you click on the little 3 dots underneath, if you don't want to apply it to all outfits, those 3 dots allows you to be able to choose which category of outfit you want to apply it to. Now we're going into the toenail polish. We always do white, and I always select to apply to every other outfit. But just so you could see this little drop-down menu. We'll just do hot weather for the purpose of the video. Next up is fingernails. I am really so satisfied with how far we've come with the nails available. Even though most of them I did spend money on with expansions and kits to get. So they put tights and stockings under leggings. So if you ever want like knee highs, thigh highs, some, tight stockings, they even have like those cute little fishnet shorts. Obviously, granted, if you own the pack, they'll be under leggings. And then socks just has, like the basic socks. It does have some knee highs and thigh highs and stocking looking types as well, but they're just socks, not like pantyhose. There's plenty different categories of shoes. Just remember to keep your filters cleared. Like right now, you see it says formal. I didn't clear them. But just remember to keep them cleared so you can see every single one. And yes, we do need more shoes because enough is never enough, especially in The Sims. Now, if you navigate to her HUD and click on her HUD, it brings up a different set of options. Let me just clear this mess real quick. See? So convenient and super quick. Let's go into the hairs. Oh, I do have some issues with Sims hair. It is greatly lacking texture and dimension. I will see the newer ones have just a slight bit more detail, like a little bit more texture. They have the baby hairs laid, but hopefully The Sims works on this and develops more modern hairstyles with more detail. And there's also a concerning lack of black hairstyles, so can we please add more of, and not just quantity, we need quality, because the little braids that we have now, the little squares, are awful. And big shout out to Business Hobbies because that allows you to be able to give them baby hairs or a hairline. Not obsessed with this hairstyle usually, but I am loving it on her right now for this outfit. The hats suck, In the kit My Wedding Stories, they really should have given you like some sort of a veil or like wedding hat with like a white little lace flower thing. Nothing. We got nothing. Then when you go into accessories, the first subcategory is piercings. Once again, clear the filters so all the piercings appear. Not sure why an eyebrow piercing is like considered for everyday but not like formal or hot weather. It just makes no sense and nobody's taking out their eyebrow piercing. And also some earrings are hidden as well. Same thing with necklaces. Most of the necklaces will be hidden unless you take the filters off. And important to note that with some of the dresses or sweaters, especially ones that cover the neck, a lot of the necklaces won't even be visible. So now jumping into makeup, this is one of my favorite parts. The sliders for opacity, brightness, and saturation will be your best frontier. That's what will make it look more natural and less clown-like. So just go through all the categories, definitely check your options, experiment with all the different colors. definitely play with the opacity because it just fades it so beautifully and naturally onto the face and takes away from the cartoon look of it. Face paint has highlighter in it and is one of my favorite features. Look at her nose. Also, you're able to make custom colors and save them for each makeup look. You would just slide the sliders and then hit the little plus sign at the bottom of the sliders and it would save it. And then it would be there to use it for whatever look whenever you want. So I'm just going to speed this up and quickly style the rest of her. These are her before looks. This is the sleep look, party look, swim. That is really god awful. And there's hot weather and cold weather. If you don't own seasons, the hot weather and cold weather really should just kind of be irrelevant. You should still be able to wear whatever you want. I still can't believe how cute this everyday pre-styled outfit was. This athletic one piece is giving me life. This whole workout outfit is eating down. This is the cutest, coziest little PJ set. At the top, above like the different outfits, is a little plus sign. You can hit that and there's like up to 5 or 6 slots that you can put per category per outfit. Not only do you sleep in the sleep outfit, but you also woohoo in that. So I like to do one that's cozy and comfy and another one that's sexy. And just remember, you can edit your Sims at any time. There is a cheat, CAS that full edit mode on, that allows you to edit things that even become unable to be edited after you save your Sim. She really came such a long way. She looks so beautiful. This outfit is so cute, that orange with that green. And the physical is complete. Now, as the young adult, all the aspirations are unlocked. Feel free to scroll through, read all the descriptions, see which one seems the most fun to you and the most resonating with the Sim that you created. And I'm going to make her a crystal crafter that definitely fits her. You get to choose 3 traits and you will develop more over time. The traits obviously matter. I just chose creative. So, for example, if I go a long time without creating something, she will get angry. And if you were to choose something like messy, you would need to make sure your house is always a mess, otherwise they get upset. Art lover, we're going to choose. So she would need to, be going to the museum and viewing art on a regular basis. And romantic, so she's going to have to experience romance more than the average Sim. For the likes and dislikes, just remember earlier in the video I told you about the dislikes and how crucial they are because, they're very tedious and specific. So I am going through and choosing, things I really won't like argumentative Sims and complaints and everything like that. All of these choices really help shape your Sim's personality. Turn-ons and turn-offs are super fun too, but also very specific. So I tend to stay away from fashion styles and hair colors because if I dislike blonde Sims, I will literally hate every blonde Sim that comes my way. And that gets very old and boring. And as far as the style goes, it's not like I'm keeping track of what kind of style everyone's wearing. I'm just kind of putting together what goes nicely. So the style will trigger like an anger or an annoyed mood. So I stay away from that too. If you click the 3 dots under gender, this is the screen that pops out. You're able to set things like if you want the Sim to be able to produce milk, if you want them to stand up while using the toilet, and their sexual orientation. So I will say we just covered about 95% of CAS mode. There might be 1 or 2 things I forgot about. Wow, that was a lot. I really hope that wasn't overwhelming. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that this video was able to help you in any sort of way. If you happen to have any questions, just comment down below. I'd be more than happy to answer or maybe even do a separate video if need be. Thanks so much and let me know what you think. Until next time.